Day after I sold my business, I got a phone call from a friend of a friend telling me that they have a few containers of flooring and they don't know what to do with it. So I got this flooring, I sold it to a friend of mine in Trinidad, and I started to see that there's a huge potential in the flooring business. So I continue going back to the source that sold me the flooring. And one container at a time. The first year we did 60 containers. The second year we did 150 containers. It kept growing. And the fifth year into the business, we sold close to 1,000 containers a year nationwide to flooring. So from an immigrant with no money, with no language, to perfumes, to flooring, and now all of a sudden the sky open and I'm one of the largest people selling flooring in the country. And the rest is history. Hi, my name is Antonio Sustiel. I'm the owner of CEO of Flooring King, world's largest flooring liquidators.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit, your background growing up and kind of how you got into the business?
I grew up in Israel. I landed in the United States when I was 12 years old. I came here for the first time many, many years ago. I worked super hard and in some point made myself to become one of the largest flooring liquidation company in the world. And today our business is really, really big.
Okay, and how do you kind of come over to America from Israel, and how is your life in Israel?
Life in Israel was good at the beginning. My brother lives in the US, so I came over here. I visited. I liked it very, very much. And at some point, I decided that I want a future in the US and not in Israel. It was a little bit difficult over there. So I kept coming and going back and forth to Israel. When I was 18 years old, I joined the military there for 6 years. And day after the military, I just left. I came back to Miami, started working super, super hard. I was in the fragrance business for 15 years. Retired when I was 35 years old. Started the flooring company, Flooring King, and the rest is history. Today we have one of the largest flooring companies in the country.
Gotcha. So when you come over here to America, do you speak English? And how do you even get into the fragrance business?
Not at all. How does that work? So when I first came over here, I didn't speak English and it was very difficult to adjust. An immigrant from Israel, no English. I didn't have papers. So I wasn't even legal here. I was just on a visa coming back and forth. The food was not the best. Nothing was that easy over here at the beginning. So adjusting took me about 4 or 5 years before I figure out how things work over here. End up at the flea market because that's the only way I can go and work and earn some money without getting too complicated with the system. I started to earn a little bit money in the flea market. From the flea market, I end up opening a small store in downtown Miami. My cousin told me that they have a store that they're not doing very well if I want to take over. So I took over the store. Start doing much better at the store. Now the business was more organized. Start saving some money. And 7 years, 8 years later, I sold my business for many, many, many millions of dollars. I was literally 35 years old with almost $4 million. So as a little kid, I'm 35 years old, but I was good enough to start a new business with a future that the rest is history.
Okay, so let me get this straight here. So you come over here, you don't know a whole lot of English. You're staying with your brother, I'm guessing. And how is that? Is it pretty much a struggle? Because I'm guessing you probably came with no money. And then how do you even get to the fragrance? How do you get to the flea market? Are you selling fragrances at first at the flea market?
Yeah, so my family was in the fragrance business. My brother was already in the business. He was doing he was doing okay, making a living, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, putting 15 hours a day, leaving home at 6, 7 o'clock at night in Miami, which is super hot under a canopy in Opaloka Flea Market or in Sunrise at the flea market. And I started learning the way to trade, to buy and sell, fell in love with people, fell in love in sales. And in some point I thought, you know what, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to negotiate, I want to buy and sell. But the first few years was difficult. When you're an immigrant and your English is not the best, people really don't trust you too much. They don't know where you're coming from. You don't know what you're doing exactly. But I created a really, really credible business. I became a really credible person for the system. And I noticed that if you do very well in this country and you have people trust you and you have people following you and not disappointed with the product you're giving and all that, at some point you can create and build something strong. And day after I sold my business, I got a phone call from a friend of a friend telling me that they have a few containers of flooring and they don't know what to do with it. So I got this flooring, I sold it to a friend of mine in Trinidad, and I started to see that there's a huge potential in the flooring business. So I continue going back to the source that sold me the flooring. And one container at a time. The first year we did 60 containers. The second year we did 150 containers. It kept growing. I got together with the Habitat for Humanity and I started selling them containers nationwide. And the 5th year into the business, we sold close to 1,000 containers a year nationwide to flooring. So from an immigrant with no money, with no language, to perfumes, to flooring, and now all of a sudden the sky opened and I'm one of the largest people selling flooring in the country. So I kind of put it together to be more of an organized business. I started to hire people. I started to hire accountants and salespeople, shipping, bank accounts, get it more organized to be a corporation. And the rest is history.
Okay. When you're doing the perfume business, I mean, especially at the flea market, I feel like a lot of people come by and are like, is it real? We don't know if it's real. How do you kind of overcome that hurdle? And how do you like make your business stick out? And you said you took over a failing business. Like, what did you do to kind of turn that business around?
Very difficult, because when they come first and they want to buy a bottle of perfume, that's exactly it. They start asking you, is it real? Is it fake? It was a lot of fake stuff. You have to convince them. You have to give them a guarantee and warranty. Say, hey, I'm here every week. If you go home, if you don't like the product, come back next week. I'll give you your money back. I want you to come and to be my customer. To earn people's trust, it takes a while. So it took me really, really years to build a credible business and to have the same people coming back over and over again. Then I started doing wholesale nationwide. We start selling to Costco. We start selling to TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And we start selling large volume of perfumes. And these people are serious business. This was corporate America, and they took you super serious. And I was the guy that you can trust. You can buy real perfumes from, because we had the options to buy the non-real perfume way cheaper. And I refused to get into that world. I said, if I came here to this country and I have one opportunity to succeed, I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to create a business that is trustable, is real, and there's no tricks. And I want to be making money the real way, so I can go to sleep at night without being concerned that I made $1 over someone that didn't know what is mine. And it was not easy at the beginning. It was very difficult. The first 5 years, I had many times that in my mind, I said, if this is not going to work, I'm going to go back to Israel. But failure was not an option. I kept working super hard and tell myself I cannot fail, because if I go back, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I continue believing in myself, and it worked. It worked, but you have to really believe in yourself, and you have to work very, very hard. And the fairy tales that you can come to this country and just make a lot of money without working hard, it's just a fairy tale. It's never going to happen.
And so you sell off the business, you end up getting $4 million. You know, is there anything that you buy at this time? Do you buy like a Ferrari or a Rolex? Like, what is your first like nice purchase?
Yeah. First thing I did is I started buying toys. I bought a nice watch. I bought a house. I bought a bus. I started traveling the country. I started having fun and burning the money. I thought this is never going to end. You know, when you're a kid and you have so much money you're earning so much money and some money comes to your possession, you think that this is it. You don't need no more money. You can retire. I don't need to work anymore. I started helping people. I started investing in all kind of stupid things that literally took me out of business. The good thing that I believed in the real estate business, and somebody told me once, if you really want to make it big in this country, continue buy real estate, because in some point you can cash it and it's going to be more valuable than what you paid for it at the beginning. So I bought a few houses, and when things really became really, really bad, because I almost lost all the money 5 years later, I sold a couple pieces of real estate. I earned back the money plus profit. That's when I got into the flooring business with a lot more cautious, because I knew money is temporary. You can be really, really big and you can go all the way down within 5 minutes. So I start saving money. Second time around, I was a lot more smarter and I was a lot more older. I was 5 years older, more wisdom, more failures. So I knew what not to do. But it's difficult to save money when you think it's never going to end.
And so you get into the flooring and you're kind of flipping these things. And I know you were on a Blue Collar Millionaire, and they kind of were making fun of you because you were answering the phone constantly, answering the phone. And as an owner that had $4 million and had a successful business, like, what makes you keep going and being like, I'm going to answer every call? And in today's business, I feel like whoever picks up the phone is going to get that sell. You know, everybody waits for a voicemail and thinks they can call you back, but by that time, they've already bought the flooring from somebody else. So what makes you like always answer that phone?
I always say, you know, today's world, and this is going back 15 years, you call any business, you get music on the other line, or they press 1 for this, press 2 for that. Nobody picks up the phone. Nobody wants to talk to you. You bought my product. I can care less if you're happy or not. I created a system many years ago that I said to myself, I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm coming from the Middle East. We're very warm with our customers. I put my name and my phone number on top of my website, and I told people in any given moment you can reach out. You can call me anytime. And people used to call me at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night, and I pick up the phone, flooring Antonio. I kept picking up the phone. But I created a business that also, from word to mouth, people said, this guy is credible. If you need flooring, they'll help you. And if you have a problem, they'll pick up the phone, they send the guys, they'll help you fix your flooring. And I created a very simple method. Just pick up the phone. 99.9% of businesses in America today, there is no phone number. There's a click a button here for customer service. They open a ticket. You're never going to talk to the owner of the company. That's for sure. The owner of Burger King will never pick up your phone when you buy a burger. And I decided to be different. I said, call me. I'll pick up the phone. Right there and there, I have an advantage of 99% of the businesses in America because people sometimes want to talk. They want an advice. Especially when they buy flooring, which is a ticket of $4,000 or $5,000 every time they buy flooring. They had the owner of the company picking up the phone. I took my competition by storm by doing that. Not Home Depot, not Lowe's, not Lumber Liquidators, not Floor Decor. No one picks up the phone, but Flooring King picks up the phone. And that's what I took advantage of. We created a huge business just because of a little tweak that customers really needed. Because people still want to talk to people. And that's what we did.
So once you get into the kind of the business, how different is it from the perfume business? Because obviously you're dealing with installation, you're dealing with having to hire people to go in there and install, so how is this different and how do you kind of use your old experiences to kind of build that business?
Super interesting question because the perfume business, you sell somebody a bottle of perfume, they go home, they're happy, they pretty much don't come back. And if they come back, they come during the holidays to buy more. Flooring is the word-to-mouth business. If they're happy, they come back to you. And we have a lot of challenges. We do 30 to 40 houses a day of flooring with installation, a lot of logistics. I have almost 100 people working for me. Plus, we have warehouses nationwide. In any given moment, there's 5 or 6 problems. Coming from the military, I've learned how to solve these problems. I've learned how to create happiness on my customers and not to stress them. So I find a way to ease my customer with nice words, with nice customer service, with nice help when they need help. And at the end of the day, we find that if you give a good response to your customers by good customer service and charge them not too much for like the rest of the competition does, at the end of the day, we have the perfect business. And it was a completely different than the perfume business. I had to do an attitude adjustment. I had to get hit a few times by people, we're having problems. So we became the problem solvers. And business is all, business, that's what it's all about business. Is if you have a person that have a problem and you can solve the problem over the phone or by sending you guys to do it, you're a successful business. And that's exactly what we did.
So everything kind of happened from word to mouth. What would you say, in today's age with the marketing and stuff like that, what is something that kind of makes you guys stick out from everybody else?
Definitely customer service. I will say customer service is number one. Number two is the pricing. We buy very aggressive. I buy hundreds of containers a month. We sell on thousands of containers a year. We're just nice to people. We pick up the phone. We do good installation. We sell good product. Majority of product is American made or European made. So it's proudly made in the USA, proudly made in Europe. Not a lot of Chinese flooring. Not a lot of Chinese merchandise because people don't have a lot of trust in anything made in China these days. So we stick out, but I will say customer service, reaching out to all of customers on a monthly basis to make sure that they're good, helping everybody, supporting the community. I'm a big fan of supporting, single moms and military, police, firefighters, all first responders know Flooring King is home for them nationwide. Literally, people with no money come to me and I just install flooring for them for free just to help them. So we created the perfect American business. Everybody's happy, good energy. I pumped my team to the highest level of customer service. And we just tried to be different, and it's very easy. You just need to tap back to where we started. Remember day one when you didn't have money. Remember day one when you needed that one sell for $1,000 and continue tapping to that moment and you're going to be fine.
And, I worked with some big Fortune 500 companies like, Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Papa John's. And when I was there, I tasted their product and it was amazing, super delicious, way better than I've ever had it at a regular place. And I noticed you're kind of going into franchising. How do you expect to keep in line with how you do stuff at your main business? What are you putting in place to kind of, keep that we always pick up the phone, that great customer service? Like, what are you doing to kind of keep that in line?
Good question. Training. So part of my growth right now, we're looking to open 400 stores all over the country. We already have it in plan. We have it in blueprint. We're just having a little bit issues hiring people right now. So we're working around that. But part of the growth and part of opening this humongous business I'm about to do, which is bigger than what we have right now, is training. I'm going to open a Flooring King school in every state. And when we hire people, we're going to require them to go for 1 week or 10 days for schooling with my trained technicians to show them, to explain to them, to have them follow the book. Literally tell them, here's the book, and this is how you need to operate, and this is how nice you need to be to people, and this is how you're not going to take money just to take money, and this is going to be an American perfect business like Burger King, like McDonald's, like FedEx. Deliver every single time with no hiccups and make sure that customers are the people, which is the people that make your business, are happy 100%. And if they're not happy, make them happy at any cost. And if you did installation and the flooring is not good, go to your home, rip the flooring up, change it with $4,000 brand new flooring. But the 1-star review is not an option on Google. I want 5-star reviews at any cost. So you're going to take some, you're going to take some hits. You're going to lose some money. But the rewards is way bigger than the losses.
And what advice would you give to like somebody that wants to start their own business and is just trying out with not very much money?
Believe in yourself, work super hard, don't take no as an answer, outwork everybody, and continue grinding because you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. Fall 9 times, rise 10 times. Continue rising and falling. Continue bleeding and wipe your blood and move on. Do not give up at any cost because there's a very good chance that a lot of bad things going to happen in business, but never give up. Believe in yourself and try to be the perfect business. You're going to be fine, but always believe in yourself and never, ever, ever, ever give up.
And is there any time that you kind of felt like giving up or that it was just like, something happened that was so dramatic that you didn't know how to get past it and kind of what those stories are?
Many times, when you're a young entrepreneur, you don't have enough education. There's many times and many failures and many losses and many disappointments that sends you back home and you said, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to continue making people happy when they're not happy. But then you regroup, you put yourself together, you wash yourself. Now, remember, my father told me as a little kid, my father was a Greek immigrant that came to Israel and made a lot of money. He told me the sun will shine tomorrow morning, leave the day behind, believe in yourself, wash your face, move on, but don't give up. Giving up can be for a couple minutes, which is fine because we're human beings, but never, ever, ever give up and just continue grinding. Even if you're bleeding, continue moving.
And, as of like today and where your business is, like, how do you kind of see it, moving forward? Are you going to get into like kitchen or different stuff like that? Or you think like, I'm just going to focus on the flooring and try to make it the best flooring I possibly can?
Amazing question. We are in the process right now of opening Flooring King Home and Decor. We're literally shifting not only from flooring, we're shifting from flooring to wall panelings, to kitchens, to decking, to 2x4. So we are creating a website very, very close, the same platform as Home Depot and Lowe's right now. And we are really, really going big with the online market. So we not only with the stores, we're going to offer online shopping, the Amazon experience worldwide. People can buy anything they like in the flooring industry or in the DIY business or in the building material. And we will ship it to them free nationwide, starting at nationwide, and then we'll go worldwide. But we are shifting. We're putting 50% of our business of the way it is right now, which is shop at home or come to our stores. But the second 50% moving forward is going to be an online business. But that was a great question because we're working at it right now as we speak. Flooring King Home and Decor.
And kind of like my last question would be like, say somebody's new starting up in the business, like what techniques would you give them to like help build their business? Meaning like, it's always hard to get that first customer. How did you kind of end up getting that first customer?
You have to be today's advertising is different from 15 years ago. Social media is huge today. Create some kind of a post, create some kind of interactions with people on Instagram or TikTok. Start there. Start where it's free. Later on, when you have money, you can go and start advertising on Google. But start there. Create a unique post. Create a unique engagement with your people. But make sure that what you're saying is what you're going to do. Say what you do what you say. But it's very easy. On social media, you can start. From there on, build it towards advertising with if it's Google or if it's Billboard or whatever the niche you're picking. But social media is the great platform to start your business, create the buzz out there, have the product, have the price, smile, But remember one thing, when you promise something worldwide on social media, make sure that you're going to deliver what you promise, because the rise can be huge, but the fall can be faster. So make sure you say what you do what you say.